Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Adventures in the Ink. I'm Scott, and joining me, as always, are my fellow Illumineers, Matt and Mike. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing good.
Good. So, it's about that time. We're coming up on the holiday season. So, we figured for tonight's broadcast of Adventures in the Ink, we're going to talk about some gift ideas that you might be able to find for those Illumineers in your lives. So, I'm going to start with you, Mike. What in essence works best for a gift for a person who plays not only Lorcana but a TCG in general?
Oh, I think honestly, so for me, I was telling Matt this before. When I was growing up and I was a kid, I liked product because I didn't have enough disposable income to buy a product. But um, so I was always like, if you buy me packs, I'm happy, even if it's packs of sets that I feel like I didn't need any more of. But in general, I would say, you kind of have to know the player and then know what is out there because there are some products that are marketed towards specific types of players, specifically in Lorcana too. They want to make sure that everyone is welcome into the game and there's an entry point or gifts for everyone. So I would say it depends, and listen to the rest of this episode to find out which gift is best for your Lorcana player in your life.
Yeah, but I see what saying. Packed a good bait flying go-to gift. Like I think, like if it's a Secret Santa and for a coworker, I think packed are definitely the way to go. Or like you need like a stocking stuffer. But like if you have like $40+ to spend on a person gift, pack might not be the way to go.
Hmm.
Before we get into the products, I got a question for you both. Looking back at all the years past, not obviously we're not going to be able to put this on Lorcana, but what was the best TCG gift you ever got?
So the deck box I had was technically a gift. Um, the they I would give him the money. Like, oh, I really want it, and I'm like, okay, well, here's the money for it. So like,
Do you want to describe what kind of deck box? Because yeah, it's pretty
um,
unique.
yeah. So it's way across the room. Um, it's like yay. Get my hand on the camera. It's like breaking my. It holds like 12 deck. I only have 11 because some of them are double sided. Or double treed. It have like apartment in it for like dice and stuff, and a little bit of a tray that I can keep my notepad. But yeah, I have parts for extra trees, I have parts for dice, I have parts for low counters, and the lid is like a dice tray. So like, it made the same people that made the one Ka have Game it. It's a
Yeah,
newer brand. Um
we'll find the and put a
yeah.
link to the brand in the show notes. But I just liked it. Whenever I see your deck box, Matt, I'm just I'm like, oh man, I should get something like that because what I have now is my backpack, and individually I've like got two or three kind of like premium deck boxes that are like sturdy, and the rest of them are leftover dragon dragon shield boxes. So not as sturdy. Don't put your expensive decks in there. Um, yeah, so that's a great gift. My wife bought me some of those last. I don't know if it was for my birthday or for Christmas. I think it was probably for my birthday, and so those are great. Yeah, deck boxes, things to travel with your cards. But I would say probably the most memorable was when I was a kid, playing Magic the Gathering, and um, yeah, I don't know why it stands out, but it was like right around the Urza Saga era, and I think my parents had bought us. It was just for me and my two brothers, a full box, and then we got additional packs that year from our aunt and relatives and stuff like that. So I just remember opening tons of packs. And back then, when you're a kid, it's like, oh my gosh, a full box of packs to open. This is like way too much. And at some point, we had actually won a contest, and I think it was right around that time too, in an old magazine called Inquest for like solving some puzzle. And you mail in your solution, and you randomly. It's called like Dead Man's Hand in Inquest.
Wow, I have not heard of that magazine in a while.
Yep, yep. And we won that. And so that was like, I don't know if it was right around Christmas time or if I'm just bundling it all together, but that felt like a gift. It might not be Christmas related or whatever, but it was also kind of like a gift, like one of those prizes. When you get a lot of product for free, it always feels good.
For me, I haven't gotten a lot of product for gifts, but I've gotten accessories. So two of the best gifts TCG wise I've gotten were playmats. That two very specific playmats I had wanted and I could not find anywhere. And my brother got me one for my birthday, and my mom got me one for Christmas in the same year. So getting the two playmats I wanted were just I absolutely loved getting those.
Nice.
So now with that being said, let's start talking product. You guys have been mentioning packs already. It's the no-brainer gift, like you guys said. Does it matter what type of packs you get or any packs?
So what I recommend when someone comes into the store asking, the favorite thing is the newest. Because that means the person had most likely had the least amount of time to actually correct a number of those packs. So I always say, wait, when in doubt, just buy the newest pack. But another thing you can do is, and you can also go the other way too. You can be like, what's the oldest pack? Because depending on when they got into the game, they might not have had a chance to go back and correct the older stuff yet. So, but the bigger thing is also that like, if you kind of know the person, see if there's a set they really like, or
Yeah. And I would say it, yeah, definitely can matter. Like, if, let's say you, like Matt said, if you got in at Rise of the Floodborn, but you were never able to get a hold of any of the first chapter, the packs that are probably already all sold out by the time this gets published at Target that has a bunch of the first chapter packs, would be a great gift for someone like that, because there's, one, it's under the current market value, and two, it's hard to get a hold of, and three, it would help people fill out their collection. But another thing you could always do is, buy buy 4 packs and play Pack Rush with them. And then it doesn't necessarily matter, and then you can just say like, "Hey, let's play Pack Rush together." And if you're watching this video and you don't know what that is, ask the person who you're giving it to, or look online.
And that's another thing too we didn't put on the thread, but just playing the game with them is a fantastic gift. Like I told people that for years when they to buy me board games and stuff, go pick out a board game you would want to play with me, buy it and play with me. I'm gonna enjoy playing the game more than you just giving me the game.
Yeah.
So actually, like Pack Rush is great. We need to do a video on Pack Rush. I don't think we have yet. But I think Pack Rush is very much a good format to buy a couple packs, play Pack Rush with them. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So next product going off of the packs is the next step up. It's probably the most common thing on the market right now as well, is the starter decks. Good gift, bad gift, where do starter decks lie?
I think for children, the starter decks are a good gift, especially if they have the favorite character on them. If it's someone who is just starting out into the game and they don't have a particular starter deck, it's a good. But I think once the person starts getting deep into the game, or even on once you get past the beginner phase, starter decks that really drop off.
Yeah, I would say if you've played for a full set, or if the person who's played for a full set, so let's say they've been playing for at least 3 months, starter decks probably aren't the way to go. But if it's less than 3 months, it's probably a great gift. Um, just because at that point, unless they're someone who spends a ton of money on their hobbies, uh, it's a good starting off point. And even again, like we said earlier, if you want to play with them, they might just be like, "Oh, here, take this. We'll make some changes to it and play with me."
Then I'm gonna probably
Yep.
guess the same logic is going to apply to the next product, so we might as well just incorporate it and talk about both things together. And that's going to be the gateway.
Yeah, the gateway. I agree. It's a lot like the Total Gek. I think it's gonna be gateway is the best gift if you know someone like Disney and you know someone that's interested in it, but they have been cooking the step into the card game. Gateway the way to go. Or if you like have a partner that does like TTD and you like Disney, the gateway is a great way to like, hey, what played it? Like, it great for beginners. I played it with my partner. We had a lot of fun with that. We made a day of it. I definitely think that, but again though, like if it was just me, the gateway would not be that good because like I don't need the cards in the game in the gateway I already have. That wasn't the Gek didn't aren't very great or like. Well, I mean the Geks are decent for like starting out, but for me personally, I didn't need anything. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's a great teaching product. So
yeah,
yeah, I would say if the person knows that they like the game, they've already played and bought their own starter decks or cards or packs, it might not even be worth it for them unless like there are cards in that would fill out their set.
it
Um,
depends. Like if they even if they have their own target deck and they just started playing, but they only been playing for like a month or two, I
yeah.
still think the gateway to warp it that because it have two more decks and they can get a little bit more variety in play, and it also helped them like if you give it to a kid,
Hmm.
they could also help them teach their friends how to play.
Yeah, that is true. So just to talk about price points too. So the starter decks are $17 MSRP, and the gateway product is 25. Correct, Matt?
Yeah.
So
The starter deck does come with a pack which
yeah,
retails for $6.
yeah. So
But the gateway did not.
yeah, so for the price point, if you take out the pack, they're roughly about equivalent. But the gateway product does have a much better onboarding, teaching you how to play.
Yep.
Doesn't just throw you off into the deep end and say good luck. Hopefully you want to read the rules or watch a video somewhere.
I mean, it does that with location because the gateway did not cover location at all.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, gateway only covered the basics of like the first two sets.
It had cards
It
from
had
like
cards from later, but it
yeah.
only basically covered the basics of the first two
Okay.
sets.
Mm,
But yeah, I think it's a fine product. But again, if the person has been playing for more than 3 months, probably not worth it for them.
Um, just as a little side note, though, for those wondering, the gateway comes in a nice, easy wrappable box.
hmm
So if you want to make the present look really nice.
Yeah, and you can look at our unboxing video for a full contents reveal of
Yeah.
what's inside.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and skip ahead to the next product. Um, and looking at the list you guys sent, I'm pretty much going off of just price points at this point. And the next one on the list would be the gift sets. Um, they're gift sets, so they have the term gift in them. Is that misleading?
Not necessarily. The a lot of them feel like they're made more for parents who doesn't know a lot about the game to give their kids. So I think kids are gonna enjoy the gift sets a little bit more than adults. I think a lot of the adults that are like really into correcting this type of stuff already bought it for themselves. Um, I'll let you know there's a specific one that didn't get the hand on.
Hmm. Yeah, what's interesting about the gift sets is that there's always something, I think, in all of them, right, that is novelty that you can't get anywhere else except for in the
Yeah.
gift set. So, um, if you do know that the person that you're buying for is a collector, you should make sure that they don't have it already because they may have already bought the copies that they wanted, so that way they
Well,
could get the unique contents. But I
also
think,
depend. Well,
go
it
ahead,
also
man.
depends on what kind of collector they are too. Because if they are the don't open kind of collector, or the other side, the open kind, like getting them a second one for them to either open or not, whatever the opposite of what they did with the one they bought themselves.
Yeah,
Um, they might appreciate that too.
yeah. So I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind being gifted one of these. For me, it falls into the category of I'm not going to buy it for myself, but if someone buys it for me, I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is neat. Like there's the collector side of me is like, oh, that's nice, but I'm not a completionist, so I don't need to have one of everything. But if I do get copies of something that I wouldn't normally buy, I'll keep it.
Yeah, like I never actually got the first chapter gift set one. So if someone want to give me that, that would be fun. Or the Disney 100 I did get, but I opened that and I got the card graded. But it would be fun to get an unopened one of that.
Hmm.
Um,
Or three more copies for me because I only have one and I want a playset of all those alternate arts. But
I mean they're
I've
not
got
going
it.
for a lot.
I know.
No, I've gotten one of each gift set so far.
Hmm.
And these are talking about gift that we're not talking about the D23, which are very expensive, and they would make fantastic gifts if you want to sell out the money for those.
Yeah.
Those would
Also,
make
make sure.
fantastic gifts for any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure the person who you're giving it to knows how much it costs. 'Cause
Oh, nah, give it to that 8-year-old. It's
yeah.
fine.
Um, since there have been numerous gift sets, is there one gift set that stands out to you as being maybe slightly better?
I would say the D100 is probably the best one they made.
Yeah, I would say that too. I don't know where you'd get a hold of it other than someone who's reselling online currently.
Oh, someone posted one of the Disney locations actually had them the other day.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be
Um,
interesting if they, I mean, because it's branded as D100, they're probably only going to sell it during that 100th year kind of thing. So we'll see if they re-release it.
but I just hope we see more in that style that's having like multiple alternate artwork codes or all artwork in the same series.
Hmm.
I think that's a fantastic idea. The next one would probably be the one that just came out, the fifth one. That binder is good for beginner to corrector, competitive. That's a good one for everyone. That because having that extra binder to store card, like if they are a competitive player, that they're gonna want to put a trade binder. A corrector they're gonna want to like hold cards in. A kid or a beginner player are gonna need to help hold or organize the cards in. So the fifth one is a great one that's good for everyone.
Hmm.
The nice thing about the Stitch one is it plays off to even like just the Stitch fans.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people that don't normally play Lorcana, but they love Stitch, it's a good thing for them.
Yeah, Stitch have a lot of fans.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know why someone would say that.
Yeah. For those of you not watching our video and listening at home, Matt is wearing his patented Stitch onesie.
We paid $40 for this. I'm getting my money's worth.
Okay, so next product on our list would be the Troves.
Uh, I think troves are a great product or a great gift if you know the person wants product, and even if they don't, the box it comes in is nice. But um, it falls in the same line of packs. Like if you know the person is already spending an exorbitant amount of money on the hobby, it might not be the best gift for them. But the nice thing about a trove is that you can buy a trove and a a booster box of cards, and all of those cards fit very easily inside that trove, and they can use it as a storage, for a lot of their bulk.
The troves are fantastic. Like troves, I would be perfectly fine if someone got me a trove, even if I already bought that specific one. Just
Mhm.
have the box that comes in at night, the accessories that come with them have been pretty good, and the fact that like you can fit a whole play set of a set in a trove box, so
Yeah,
they are fantastic for storage. I think they are probably like one of the safest gifts to buy for a player.
yeah,
Like
it's
even if they already have that trove, they probably wouldn't mind having another one. And it's not that much more than if you would just buy packs. So if you're buying them $50 worth of packs, you might as well just buy them a trove instead.
yeah, yeah. I would rather have a trove than the equivalent amount of packs than $2.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference. It's 8 packs, so um, yeah, I have 7 troves within arm's reach right now. So
See, you have 7, and there's only been 6 sets, which means you doubled up on one, which means they're worth doubling up on. So
yeah,
even if a
for
person
sure.
had one, they are worth getting another one up.
Yes, yep. That's not. Yeah, the gift sets is probably maybe only buy one of for the person, or if they already have it, they won't want it again. But a trove, I think people would be more than happy. You can use it as a deck carrying box too,
Mm.
if they're someone who goes to their local game store to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, do you like troves?
Do you like troves? I use them more for decorations than anything else. But I have all my Lorcana stuff in my living room on shelves, and so I use the Lorcana boxes as decorations on on the shelves to bring some of the game into it instead of just having plain boxes of cards.
Nice. Yeah,
I have them all the tropes out so you can see the artwork on them, and
yeah, more colorful and easier on the eyes than plain white cardboard boxes or
Yeah.
stacks of
yes.
cards.
Okay. So next up we have the Illumineers quest. Uh, Deep Trouble.
So this
So
is the $60. I don't know. People say PVE or like player versus environment
I
or
did a co-op game.
co-op game. Yep, that's another
Yeah.
way of calling it. So the price point might strike you as like, oh wow, that's kind of expensive. Is there anything in this gift that's actually worth it for players? And while there are cards that are not playable in normal tournament settings or game settings, there are also 2 very playable decks that have good cards in them and have legendary cards in them. And just the game itself is fun to play, and you can probably get, I'd say, you know, before things start to get repetitive, at least 5 to 10 playthroughs out of it. So, I mean, that's like bare minimum. And
But
Matt's
to
looking
say
at me
like
like, but I just want to say, like, if you're the person who's like, oh, well, I know what Ursula does, so I'm not going to play it again. It will probably take you more than 5 to 10 playthroughs to beat the hardest difficulty, just because it takes the way the game works is you have to craft very specific decks to exploit her weaknesses on the hardest difficulty. Otherwise, you will not be able to.
I did like 12 games last week by myself.
Yeah.
It now became like how I test out when I build a new deck. Like the first thing I do is I pop out the Illuminary quest and I play around with that to see if the deck is working the way I think I want it to work.
hmm Yeah. It's better than, I don't know, what do they call gold fishing, I think, is when you just play against nobody and you just
Yeah,
kind of like you make your deck and you just draw cards. Like it's definitely better than that because Ursula has some removal aspects and things that are difficult and things that you have to answer. Um,
but
so
but all
it's a good way for testing. Yeah, Matt.
yeah. Also, like like in the big deck box we talked about that hold all the deck, I have an Ultra um my Illuminary quest in there. So like I went to a league night one time and like we didn't have enough for a tournament, so they were at the other local game store that's not at all. Um, there were enough people for a tournament, so and there was 3 of us, and like we didn't want to do another multiplayer game because one person was like very new and didn't have a very good deck.
Mm-hmm.
So we did like so I'm like, hey, what's the duo luminary quest? We can do a co-op. We can have the fun with that. So I bought that out and played that. So, and then also when I went to the challenge event, I saw people in the lobbies and stuff playing it. So it's a nice thing that to have on you when you go to these events and stuff if you want to have the co-op game mode. I think that it's a fantastic gift if the person does not own it. But it's definitely not cooking someone need 2 up. So if you know for a fact they don't own it, that they're gonna love it. It's a fantastic gift. I feel like every Lorcana player should own it. Um, but like yeah, you don't need 2 of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think every time I've played, I've been like, oh man, that was like so close or so fun, or it was really cool watching
Yeah,
this happen. Um, and there's a lot of replayability. Yeah, my initial statement of 5 to 10 times is like, if you're somebody who gets completely bored with something, um, because you think you are, I don't know, if you don't have any fun playing, I mean, it's not even playing the same video game twice, because when you play the same video game twice, like almost everything's the same. This is like a choose your own adventure, except everything changes because you can't control half of the book.
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I can't recommend it enough if the person doesn't have it.
Okay, before we move on to the next part, we're going to get away from basically the straight Lorcana product at this point. The card dealing with cards. What is your recommendation as the probably the best thing to buy card wise of everything we just mentioned?
I think the troves are probably gonna be the easier to get a hold of and the bet the bet game for a gift. Like packs are good, like safety. I like if you're doing like cooking small, have a lower price point, that one cooking a little bit extra. But like if you actually have money to spend on a gift, the trove is probably going to be the overall staple.
Hmm. Yeah. If you have an infinite amount of money to spend, you can send me PSA 10 Elsas Enchanted. However, that's probably not most people. So yeah, the troves are probably the best. And if not, honestly, I love packs. So
Yeah.
there's something fun about opening. And now that Pack Rush is becoming a more common format, like it's worth holding on to packs that way until you have 4, and then you can just sit down with a friend and play. So
Okay. So next up on our gift uh, is accessories. Um, this one we're just going to do in general. I don't think we need to break down every single item. Um, so
We
accessories, ECGs, it's across the board. They're similar playmats, sleeves, deck boxes. What works best as gifts? What doesn't work as gifts?
mhm.
so I think most of the accessories work that gift, but like in different ways. Like trees are good. Another one that is good for like a stocking tupper or like a white elephant gift. Because person going through Gex and stuff, they're gonna go through a lot of trees. They get cupped up and wailed over time, and they gotta get replaced. I'm constantly buying trees. The top is constantly running out. As soon as we get trees in, they're almost pretty much sold out. So trees are good. Like they're always gonna need trees, but they're not the most exciting thing. So I wouldn't say that get them trees themselves as a gift. But like as a little bit of an add-on, like okay, like me and Mike said we're gonna attain $50 worth of gifts, and the gift I found him was only $40. Oh, here's a $10 pack of treats.
Mhm. Sleeves are the socks of
Yeah,
of gifts. It's like they're great. You need them. Your old socks are gonna get holes in them. And your sleeves are gonna get worn out, or you're gonna buy more cards that you want to put in sleeves. Um, yeah, so I would say out of all of those, ones that would probably be the most exciting to me would probably be playmats or deck boxes. Um, I would say probably playmats first, just because it's like artistic and fun, and it's a way to express yourself. And if the person knows, like if you know the person that you're buying for likes a specific movie that's represented in Lorcana, or even if it's not yet, um, getting something like that would be fun. But I mean, that's my own personal thing. Um,
No, playmats are a great gift. They're really good. Like, players are gonna have multiple playmats. It's also good, like, you're playing with a friend and they don't have one. It's nice to have, like, Rona one. But, like, if you know they've been playing for the same playmat for a while, they'll be happy for a new one and, like, to mix it up. Like, I would say, like, playmat football, like, when you go to a tournament event, they're, like, one of the, like, best competition started.
mhm. And the stock ones from Ravensburger are what, $20 if you buy them in store, and you can buy custom ones online too, or funny ones, or yeah. So there's a lot of variety that's out there, and they're all kind of run around that price point. So
And another thing you can do, like I did it for my partner, is you just buy a plain white playmat, and you can take Sharpie and customize it.
mhm.
Like I went on some YouTube tutorials on how to draw, and I drew her the Chippendale Lecture Ranger. And and when I get that colored in, I will post that to the show. Um, but that turned out. It turned out.
That was the most playmat of
Yeah.
a playmat. Um,
Uh,
yeah, I mean, I would never be unhappy to have a new playmat, as long as it wasn't like something that's weird or obscene. And then, sleeves are great. Um, Deck boxes might require a little bit more discussion with the person, because they can get in the pricier range if you're getting something like what Matt had. That was like, a 12 deck box. But honestly, they make ones that are like hard case, magnetic close, will hold one deck. Like it'll say 100 sleeved cards probably. And those are great. And, if someone gave me one of those, I'd be like, sweet, I can carry another deck without having to worry if the other decks that I'm carrying around have crushed mine,
yeah.
crushed these cards.
Yeah, and like deck, you spend a lot of time and money making and building the kings, and you want so having like a nice fancy one to throw it off or to like guarantee help protect it, it's always a great king. The other king is premium tokens. This is probably like the best gift to give me because I've been spending all my money on like the cards themselves. I haven't actually had a chance to buy some of these fancy accessories. So like I'm just using basic dice. So just having some nice premium tokens would be fun. And I go to a lot of events, so it would be fun to like kind of show them off.
Hmm.
Um Also like fancy low counters. I know a lot of people back when I was playing Magic got some really fancy ones on Etsy and stuff, and like they really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Um, because a lot of these accessories are stuff because these players have been buying the packs and the cards and the gags. They may not have had the money or got around to actually buying nice accessories, which is why these make good gifts to buy people. And also, like we have a episode where we went over all these different types of accessories, so that would be a good one for for people to watch that video if they want a little bit more in-depth knowledge on what these accessories are.
Hmm. Yeah. Scott, for you, are any of these accessories things that you're like, yeah, 100% buy this for me, or stay away, don't buy this?
For me, I'm with Matt. The premium tokens. I have deck boxes. I don't know how many playmats at this point. Um, don't get me wrong. I will take any playmat I don't have. I'll take more. But yeah, I don't have any of the premium tokens that I've seen online that I would love to have. So premium tokens, the custom special things that people make, those would be what I would want for myself.
Nice. All right. Everyone who's buying gifts for Scott, you know what to get him.
Okay, so overall, any last thought on just Texas gifts in general?
I think accessories are probably great for almost every style of player, except for maybe the collector.
And depending on the kids, I would definitely factor in the age range and like the level of maturity on some of the stuff. Like deck boxes are probably okay for kids, but like some of the premium tokens,
if they're going
the
to lose
kids are,
them instantly, yeah.
yeah, or like depending like maybe to chew on them, like depending on how young they are. Um, and like Call of Duty kids are like, why do I need it?
Yeah.
um,
If you're
but
buying your kids cards and they're making decks, you should put them in sleeves.
you should. Um, but like the kid's not gonna be as excited to get that gift. Why
Yeah.
I think adults are gonna appreciate those a little bit more.
I think the
Um,
socks analogy is so great because
yes,
as an adult, I'm like,
Yeah.
great socks. I need these. As a kid, yeah, didn't realize how great they were.
yeah, that is a great analogy for Tree.
Matt, question for you. We have someone where I know they're into TCGs. I know they're into Lorcana. I'm still completely 100% undecided what I should buy them. What is the other option that you can get someone as a gift?
Well, if you know that they have a local gaming store, and you know they go to event country at this one store, then buy them a gift card for that store. Like that way, because like all three of us are at eventing every Friday. That's where we go to play Lorcana. But while you guys are there, you're buying pop, you're buying snacks. The single there, you can buy or go get to the bulk cards. So like you're gonna be there, you're gonna spend money there. It's a good safe bet. And I recommend typically doing a local gaming tour because then that also helps encourage people to go to the tour, support small businesses, and also to go get them out there to meet people and talk to people who are in this hobby and who like this hobby. While if you just go to Target, then you're just buying the product, but you're not running the game, you're not interacting with people involved in the community. But going to a local game store, you know, they may go to buy a pack and then put them like, "Hey, we're doing an event on this Saturday," and that kind of how like I got to know Mike. He
Hmm.
came to the store asking about Wakana, and we started talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend getting a gift card to a local gaming store over a big box store.
Yeah. 100% stand behind that. And even if the person isn't attending these regularly, if you know you're not going to buy a large gift card, it helps support the local business, and the card stores and these like local communities are what keeps the game alive. So it's really important to support them in that way. But also, yeah, like Matt said, if you're going into Target or a big box store and you're buying cards, the chance of you running into somebody else who's like, "Oh, you want to play a game right now?" and having the opportunity to do so, it's not going to happen in the middle of Target. But it
Oh,
could happen at the game store. And, back to what we started with, one of the best gifts you can have is, you know, being someone to play with. And
mhm.
so that's another way that you can help this person find their local community of people to play with, and hopefully, make friends who you might end up making a podcast with.
But also, like, if you go to the big box store, 50-50 chance you're gonna run into someone who shopping cart is full of packs and they're weighing each pack.
Oh no, yeah, yeah, that's sad but true. Yeah, what Matt's referring to is unfortunately some people have, I don't know if it's true or not, but they believe that they can find out which packs have the best card or the most expensive cards because those cards weigh slightly more than the other ones. So if you ever see someone doing that, go tell a store person to be like, "Hey, I don't think what they're doing should be allowed."
I've only ever seen that once in person.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening as much. The cards aren't as skyrocketing in value as they were back when the game came out, but
Also, though, a lot of toads do put a stop to that. So, like, if they see someone doing that, they do stop them.
Yeah. Or
Mhm.
apparently, I've heard that packs can also be X-rayed. So if you are MRI or some weird, like really expensive. So if somehow someone wheels in one of those devices into your target, let somebody know.
I'm just envisioning that.
No. If they got an MRI machine to X-ray pack and Colgate, you let them do their own thing.
Just stand a
The-
safe
This,
distance away.
this person have resources out of your league, so don't bother them. Let's go to a different target. This one's there now.
Oh man.
All right. So, any last thoughts before we go on to our card of the week?
No, I
Uh,
think. Oh, I was just gonna
oh,
say, you can't go wrong with most of these things if you follow our guides. And also at the end of this video, I'll put up a visual for us or for you guys to look at to reference based off of what the products are, their price points, and what types of person or Lorcana players we think it would be best suited for.
um. Also, like, end of the day, don't be afraid to ask them. Like, hey, it's a cooking Pacific you wanted. Because at the end of the day, that's like actually the giving them a quick like, hey, would you rather have a trove or would you rather have a gift set? Oh, hey, is there a specific dollar deck you're looking for? That's some basic questions like that. Show them interest. So, like, the fact that you're taking time to like run the interest is always a good sign, and they'll appreciate that.
Hmm. And if you have the time, offer to play a game with them
Yeah.
or to learn.
Well, then we will switch gears and talk about our card of the week. Our card for this week is Tadashi Hamada, Gifted Roboticist. This is a card from the new Azurite Seas set that just came out. It is a 3-drop on Inkable with a 2 strength, 2 willpower. He is a Storyborn, Mentor, and Inventor. He quests for 2, and he has the ability of Someone Has to Help. During an opponent's turn, when this character is banished, you may put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down, then put this card into your Inkwell face down. And this card comes to us from the artist Alibeth Zermeno. Again, we are probably butchering last names on here, but we'll try our best. So, Matt, I will turn it over to you. You picked this card for card of the week, so let's hear from you first.
I love this card. I think it a much better version of the Mickey Mouse Detective. Because it gives you one, the fact that it have 2 lore makes it a pretty viable target, and the fact that when it does go away, you're ramping for 2. Um, so the fact that it also put itself in is really nice, and I think that very much fits the character who died and was a huge inspiration in the movie. Like hit that few 90% of the plot.
It's on point for the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I will say that, so unlike Mickey, Mickey gets you your value as soon as you play it. This requires your opponent to interact with it somehow, yeah, your opponent has to interact with it because it has to be during your opponent's turn. You can't just challenge it either. But it at least forces, or not forces, but the fact that it quests for 2 encourages your opponent, like, you should be dealing with this.
Mm.
But it doesn't necessarily fit into all deck archetypes. Um, because if you wouldn't want to put this in a deck that has a late, is the main point of view or the main way you get your lures in the late game, because otherwise the person could just ignore this. They're like, sure, get your 2 lore because this is your only card that's gaining you lore. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I have yet to see anyone use it because we've only played for about a few weeks. with this new set, but I'd be interested to see how effective it is. It's weak to bounce, but that's pretty much it. It will take out or be taken out by someone else's one drop character, but they have to weigh the cost of putting you 2 ink ahead the next turn.
Yeah, I definitely think though, with depending on that, it's gonna make opponent think before they challenge it. Do I want to give you the 2 ink, or and if they let it go for a couple of turns, like then that's a lot of lore you're gaining from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall, I think it's a my star rating is probably TBD on it, but if I had to give a star rating right now, I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's not quite to the point where I think it's an auto include if you're ramping in your decks, but specific archetypes where you're putting early pressure on and you have a few late game, things that you want to ramp to.
Yeah,
it's good.
I think they would probably be better off in a amber amethyst, no, amber vampire aggro.
Mhm. With a few higher end cards that if you get out early or if they take this out, then you punish them, like your
Yeah,
Surfer Stitches or something like that.
and it also at the point too where like you're gaining a lot of lore, so they need to be taking out your stuff to be dealing with you.
Hmm. Yeah. Scott, how do you like the card?
I like it. The thing I like about it the most is this card doesn't need to be challenged to go into the inkwell. It's when this card is banished in general on the opponent's turn. So even if the opponent board wipes, it's gone. Uses any action card against it, whatever. Any reason that this card gets banished on the opponent's turn, you get the benefits of it. So your opponent doesn't even need to challenge it for you to get your 2 ink.
Hmm. Yeah, it'd be fun to play around with this, maybe with the Grammatala 2-drop also that puts her
Mhm.
into the inkwell, and just to see, like, make a deck, just come at me, bro.
Any last thoughts before we wrap up for tonight?
Oh, he's also an inventor, which may or may not mean anything.
Yeah, I think interesting to see how the Venta keyword stuff goes. I need to play around more with that. I did build a big hero tech deck, but I haven't had a lot of chance to play around with it.
Hmm.
And he is in the deck.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by him. I think I'll try to build a deck around, this kind of challenge me, see what happens. Don't know what color I'm going to pair it with yet, but
Maybe Amber, because Amber would give the most like, yeah, come at me.
hmm
Or maybe you also do Ruby with some of the Sapphires.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, if somebody you play this down turn 3, and they take it out their turn 3. Next turn you can play one of those 6-drop, Madame Medusa or Lady Tremaines. That'd be
um,
pretty backbreaking.
yeah.
So yeah, it'd be interesting if you could build around it. Anyway, we will see.
Why is it that every time we do card of the week, I sit here just going, why do I play this game with you two?
I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely the type of person that likes to say this might not be the best card, but let's think about how we can push it to its limits.
And
It's
here
fun.
I sit here every week and go, now I gotta come up with a new deck that can counter this one because I know Matt or Mike is gonna go build this deck, and so now I gotta counter it.
It's a fun.
Dude, we'll be honest here. Mike doesn't have time to build this deck. I'm going to forget about this deck.
That's right.
Let me tell you guys here. Before, when the deck came out and I was looking at the previews, I'm like, oh, I'm going to build a Ruby Sapphire Microbot deck. Then when the deck came out, I'm like, oh, I want to build it with the Microbot. I completely forgot I wanted to build it with Ruby. So I tried it with other combinations, and then I eventually go back around, Ruby's the way to go, and I was right, and that was a better combination.
Hmm. Yeah. The Matt's statement's totally true. I'm still sitting on a half a box of unopened product right now that's been sitting in my possession for over a week. So I will find time. It just might be to the tail end of the set. So.
And then there's me, who spent this entire week, who has built 3 brand new decks already.
I mean, I built 11 decks that week.
All right, we got our next podcast episode topics. Deck building with Matt. Or...
All right, so at 2 a.m. you can't sleep and you had an idea.
Yeah.
Or in my case, you just get sick and you have 2 days of doing nothing but sitting at your house.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll do it.
So, okay, so that's all the time we got for tonight. Don't forget to like, hit the comments, let us know what you think. Let us know what gifts you got this year. And until next time, Illumineers, adventure awaits.